morning. We are so lucky because we have Liz Wilcox in the house today, and she is the fresh princess of marketing. And we're lucky because she has taken time out of her day to come and hang with us today. And she's going to be talking all about awesome stuff like newsletters and marketing and really kind of making it like super simple,
Hey
right?
friends.
Do you want to go ahead and start a little bit about what you do, your story a little bit?
Sure. So as you can see on the screen, or like Jess said, I am Liz Wilcox, and I help make writing emails really simple for folks. Because I know a lot of people, you listen to something like this, or you see some email marketers spouting all these facts about, for every dollar you spend, you can get, $40 in return when it comes to email. And so you get really hyped up. You go into your CRM or something like that, and you say, oh, today's the day I'm going to email my people. And you sit down, you grab your keyboard, and then you promptly feel kind of, I don't know, stupid because you have no idea what to write. Well, I hope Jess and I are going to help eliminate that problem for you. And I actually got into email a little differently than most email marketers. A lot of email marketers, they start off as copywriters for bigger businesses, and maybe they work for an agency or they were freelancing, and they got to see a lot of behind the scenes on bigger businesses, and they get really oh, email's my thing, I'm going to do email. And after a while they become an expert, they branch out, they start talking about email exclusively and helping other people. I actually started off a little different. I was actually a blogger, a travel blogger. So I used to live in my RV and travel around the country with my daughter and then husband. And I knew I wanted to start a business. I knew I needed to make money. And everyone and their mother was saying, oh, email's where it's at. You can really make connections. So mama didn't raise no fool. I started emailing, right? And I just realized that, that was the biggest bang for my buck. Anytime I would email, I would start to make connections. I could make recommendations for people that they would actually buy. And I got really, really good at it. And when I realized when I was really good is I started, I made one of those digital courses everyone's telling you to make, right? And I had
Yeah.
141 people on my wait list. I wrote an email, hey, would you be interested in a course about this? I had 141 clicks. And by the time I did a traditional Monday through Friday open close cart launch, I had made 141 sales. So word got around. I know, it's crazy. When I say it, I'm like, that's not true, but it actually did happen that way. The screenshots are on my homepage. And so when I started telling people about that, other marketers, other people in businesses, people said, oh, Liz, that's really not, that's really kind of
Normal.
unheard of. Yeah, not normal. Thank you, Jess. That's really not normal. How did you do that? And so I started teaching people how I was emailing. And I realized, oh, this is the business I need to be in. This is what I need to be teaching people. Anybody can teach about RVing and how to get on the road, but this is kind of my specialty. So that's how I got into email. A little different story than most.
So you kind of like stumbled into it by accident almost.
Yeah, I knew I wanted a business the same way, you get into realty, you want to make money. And then as you trial and error, you realize, what kind of is your zone of genius within that. I realized, I knew I wanted to make an online business work, but I realized email was really where it was at for me.
Sometimes, things just happen and it works out just exactly the way that it's supposed to be. Everything happens for a reason. So we totally like did not even talk about like one of my most favorite things, about you. And obviously awesome marketing and all that stuff. But Liz is like an expert in all things 90s, and she like totally rocks it. It's like her lifestyle. Like she's just part of the 90s.
Yeah, thanks, Jess. And that's it's when you build a business that you belong in, you can really bring out those aspects of yourself. So, if you're watching, you can see I've got NSYNC in the background. Before we hit go live on this, Jess helped me pick out my earrings. I've got Chris Kirkpatrick, another NSYNC member. I'm trying to There here he
Yeah.
is.
Thanks, kiddo.
Normally I think this morning I was wearing like a Lisa Simpson shirt. I'm looking at my other NSYNC posters, but it really was about, I did have this RV brand, and of course I was still me. Like if you're hearing me, seeing me, you can tell like Liz is just who Liz is. But in the RV space, I was serving a lot of people. It was mainly men in their 60s. And so I felt like I had to be a certain way,
Yeah.
talk a certain way, talk about certain things. So when I was starting this new business, I felt like, okay, I'm really just going to be myself, and I'm going to attract the kind of clients that I want to attract. And so I really, I encourage everyone to build a business where they belong, and the right people will come along and say, okay, yes, that's the realtor for me. She's fun, she's exciting, or, if they want more pragmatic and that's your personality, like just whatever your personality is, letting it shine through in your marketing is going to help you attract the right kind of people, the right kind of clients that energize you instead of drain you.
Exactly. That's totally what we talk about all the time. Here too is just having that connection, like being yourself, and then being able to connect with the people that you want to be a part of. Because if you're always pretending to be somebody else, then those are the type of people you're going to attract. And then every time it's going to feel like so much more work than it is of just having fun and doing what you love. It's
100%.
such a difference.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's huge. And it just, when you're happier, they're happier. It doesn't feel like that work as much. And you're like excited to go do the stuff that makes you happy, and you can call it work if you want to.
Yeah.
So do you want to dive in a little bit about, some simple tips of marketing or newsletters?
Sure. So as far as if I'm thinking of it from, I'm a real estate agent, I've got my CRM set up, and I really, I just don't know what to do with these email addresses I'm collecting other than, calling them if they, if I see a house that they might like. I know Jess and I were talking a couple months ago, and we were talking about, usually the realtor that people go with is the last person that they contacted, right? I know from personal experience, I remember moving into a new town, and I was renting, and my Uber driver just happened to also have his real estate license. He was like, oh, if you need to buy a house, here's my card. And because he said, oh, you're renting, maybe one day you'll buy a house, right? And he gave me his card, and I still have that card in my wallet. And I know if I ever bought a house, I'd probably, oh, did I have that card? And I'd look that up. Or, if I saw a billboard, or, I go on Zillow and Zillow matches me or something like that, right? It's basically whoever stays top of mind. So I really encourage real estate agents to grow a list, put people in that CRM, that email service provider, whatever it is you're using, and actually stay top of mind. Now, you might hear a lot of advice about, emailing once a week. I know if you, listen to a lot of other podcasts, people will say that. But I think for real estate agents, I want you to take the load off, take that pressure off, and just email when it makes sense for you to stay top of mind. So something that I teach is the email staircase. Okay. And I'm going to do something really fancy. If you're watching live, you'll be able to see it.
Yeah.
Maybe while I'm talking about it. Now I can't find it. Okay. Here it is. Okay. So this is, oh, whoops. Of course, it's the wrong thing. Hang on. Here we go. I'm going to get there. Here we go. Okay. So this is the email staircase. And so first you have a follower, right? You find somebody in your Uber or wherever you're finding people. You get them on your list, and you can turn them into a friend, and then you can turn them into a client, into some kind of customer. And so however you're building your list right now, however you're getting your name out there, keep doing it and get them on the email list. And so, and then you can turn them into a friend. And how you do that, you only need 3 things to turn them into a friend. And I'm going to switch here, and hopefully, okay, it's still working. Here we go. And so number 1, you have to invest your time in them, right? Anyone that you want to invest money into what you're doing, you need to invest back in them. So that's why I say, emailing can show that you're invested, right? You can share some, like a typical newsletter, sharing houses in your area, things for rent, things for sale, whatever your specialty is, sharing that in a newsletter, sharing that you are invested in your craft is going to help people invest back into you, AKA, choose you as their agent. Number 2, share in a relatable way, right? So, I used to have this RV site. Was I talking about NSYNC? Probably not, because most of my clients were, men in their 60s. They really don't care about Justin Timberlake, right? So in your emails, you can give something of a little bit of a personal update about what's happening with you. And what I love about this for realtors is it can be very simple. If you are working locally, you can share local events. You can share something that happened. Let's say I'm a real estate agent. I just went out for ice cream at the new ice cream shop that opened up, down on Main Avenue, right? I can talk about that. I can say, oh, wow, you should check this place out. While you're checking that out, why not go ahead and, check out some of these listings, right? So you can share in a relatable way that makes you a real person, right? And then number 3, what we were talking about at the beginning, staying top of mind, whatever that is for you. If you are in a very saturated area with a lot of real estate agents spending a lot of money on advertising, whether it's online or, billboards, we've got, the stereotypical park bench, right? You've got to stay top of mind in your own way. And I guarantee not a lot of agents are doing it with email. And so if you email even once a month to those prospects, you are going to stay top of mind. And remember, it just also shows that you're invested, that you're a human, that you are, you're making that personal connection by sharing in a relatable way, and then staying top of mind. Does that make sense? I'm trying to find
Absolutely. I mean, I think, just being top of mind, because there's so many real estate agents everywhere that the one who's going to get the business is the one that they remember, that they have a connection with.
Yeah, I love that you said that. And yeah, I think especially nowadays, I'm sure, I'll just get my real estate license. And everybody wants to make hit that 6 figures, right? But you can't do that, unless you're putting in a little bit of effort. And I think with email marketing, what you have to understand is it's this intimate channel. It's very different than I'm scrolling on Facebook and I see your ad, or, I'm driving and I see somebody's billboard, or even meeting someone. It's a channel where it's relatively inexpensive to host these email addresses. And it's a quick win every single week. You can see who's opening your emails. You can see who's clicking. You can find out who's really engaged. So for me, I've been looking at houses for about 2 years, but I'm not serious. But I know that I would probably get serious if someone was emailing me consistently. I might be thinking about it instead of, I don't have my phone on me. I hide it from myself when I'm working, but let's pretend this is a phone. This is where all my NSYNC earrings live. But, if I'm just scrolling, oh, let me look at Zillow, or let me look at realtor.com, or whatever my local thing is. But, I'm doing this while I'm watching Survivor, or, my kids in the background. But when I go to my email, the thing about email is, I'm actively searching for something that is for me, something that was meant for me. I'm skipping over bills. I'm skipping over the junk. But if Jess emails me, oh my gosh, Jess, what does she have to say? If you can become that realtor in someone's inbox, they're going to take their house buying much more seriously. And they're going to take their house buying to you, right?
Yeah, and even if you don't have a real relationship with these people, or you've never seen them in person or anything, you're sending them the stuff they honestly, like, they believe they know you. Like, they all of a sudden, like, have that connection with you. It's just like, us seeing people on TV, and like we feel like we really know them and we don't, but building that relationship makes them keep top of mind. So we have a comment that says, that they're learning that people reach out to the agent who is easiest and most comfortable to contact. So if you're contacting them first, it makes it easy to reach out to you. I would agree.
I love this is so perfect. So what she was saying and what Jess is saying is so true. And this is another reason why I love email. It's a more intimate channel and it takes one to many, right? I can send one email to 100 people.
Yes.
And it turns it into one-on-one very quickly to this person. I can't see your name, sorry. I'm going to call you Natalie. So to Natalie's point, to Facebook users' point about, they're reaching out to the easiest and, most accessible person, someone they feel comfortable with. When you're emailing consistently, when you show, hey, I'm invested in this house buying process for you, I'm sharing in a relatable way, I'm staying top of mind, that makes you really comfortable. And you can also, in your emails, put things, simple questions, simple ways to interact so people can reply back to you, right? To that user's point. And that is where the fun begins. That's like where the magic happens. So if I'm, Jess is trying to, she's warming me up. She's trying to create that friendship. She sends me a few listings, right? In your area or new listing or whatever. I can reply back, oh my gosh, I love that house. Or none of these are relevant to me. Or, whatever I want to reply back. Then all of a sudden she's off to the races, right? Liz is a hot client, right? She's actually looking at these. I can email her directly and say, oh, what did you like about that house? Or, oh my gosh, I love that house too. I love the staircase. I like that they just remodeled the bathroom. I actually know the seller's agent if you're interested, whatever your sales process is, right? And then we're in a conversation, right? Instead of just blasting out to Facebook, hoping people click on my links, going to, events where there's 100 other realtors or something like that. This is much more intimate. And then, you can keep a log, right? You get out your old notebook, keep it old school. Oh, Liz contacted me on this day. I'm going to put that in my CRM or, in my paper notebook, whatever. I'm going to follow up with her in 30 days. If she doesn't reply back to my reply, I can follow up with her in 30 days. I can follow up with her when I know there's an open house for that house, anything like that. It turns one to many into one-on-one really, really quickly.
And I think something that we should really talk about too is, the last couple of years, there's been a few situations where social media platforms have gone down or your account gets suspended. So having an email list is like a lifesaver, right?
Yes. Oh my gosh. So this is probably all in recent memory. It was less than a year ago. Facebook and WhatsApp and Instagram all went down, right? Facebook, Meta's
full panic.
Yeah. And so I actually emailed my people. I said, oh my gosh, half of the internet is down. You should email your people. I bet you they're trying, because we're all addicted to our phones. Let's be real. Yeah. And so we're all, we're scrolling. We're trying to click on Facebook. It keeps not working. What if you emailed your people right now? And so I sent that out and I had, I don't know, it was like 5 or 6, maybe even more people say, oh my gosh, I made my first $1 with email today because you sent out that reminder. And so, yeah, you don't own Facebook. You don't own Instagram. Facebook ads are only getting more complicated, right? And so you want to have a channel that is all yours. When you have your email addresses, if you've got this CRM today and you decide to move over tomorrow to another one, you can take those email addresses with you. You don't have to, you don't have to try to beat the algorithm or pour more money into something with email. It's just, it is yours, which is so, so good.
Yeah. And if you get like a lot of your business, say from Facebook or Instagram, and your account gets suspended, you lose all your communication to people. But if everybody that you're working with or talking to or building a business with is in your database, you can reach out to them and be like, hey, guess what? This crazy thing happened. And if you want to connect with me, you can connect with me over here, and you can direct people and you can control what they see and how they communicate with you.
Yeah, I love that. And so if you are selling in the DMs, or you're doing a lot of conversation, social media is a great place to start. It's very much like we'll call it like top of the funnel, right? And the funnel is just buy a house with me. Let's do this. I want to help get you into your dream home, or whatever it is, right? And so when you're in the DMs, when you're chatting with people, being able to direct them into your list is really going to behoove you. And you can either just say, hey, I do my best work with email. I'd really like to make sure you don't miss out on anything. I know for me, I can just be perfectly honest and say, I really suck at this DM stuff. I'll forget, or especially the more successful you become, the harder it is to keep track of all those messages as well in a channel like Instagram or Facebook Messenger. And so directing them to like, hey, can I email you? Can I add you to my list? Once a month I send out XYZ, twice a month, whatever your frequency is. I just want to make sure you don't miss out on anything, and I don't miss out on helping you, right? Making it about them. And also you can create some sort of lead magnet to incentivize them to join the list as well. This can be really simple, like a simple 5-step checklist for, every house you go see, or a 5-step checklist about getting the right agent. Maybe it's a 10-minute training video on you walking through a house and, showing people how you do things, or showing people those mistakes that people often overlook. That's a good idea. Somebody write that down.
Yeah, write that down. Or things that you should be looking for. And the possibilities are endless for sure. And, most social media is, agent heavy on the social media. So they're pretty, out there. They like to make videos and do all that stuff. But I think, with the lead magnets, there's so many things that the agents can do that, and you just throw freebie up in there and everybody will want it because it's free.
Yeah. And I mean, if you are doing a lot of, DM chats, what are people asking you? Those same questions over and over. What are they asking you? Putting it into some sort of resource library or PDF, even a Google Doc, or, like Microsoft Word document, right? And just saying, hey, I've got all of this information in one spot. Can I add you to my email list? It's going to give it to you. Things like that. People will love that. And it also makes you look like a professional, like, whoa, this person's really prepared. They actually sell houses. Because even from the buyer or seller perspective, we all know there's a lot of real estate agents, and we all know some come and some go. So if you can even distinguish yourself from that kind of crowd right from the get-go, hey, I've got this list. I have this training. I have this email list where I curate XYZ. That's going to make you, a cut above the rest. Like, oh, wow, this person takes it seriously. It's not just, my Uber driver trying to sell houses or my agent Uber driving. I don't know which one was first, right? And not that there's anything wrong with that. You got to hustle to make it work. I commend anyone doing that. But when you have that certain level of professionalism, it really, really helps set you apart. And then circling it all the way back, you can truly be yourself when you have that level of professionalism on the side.
Absolutely. I love that. So I would love for you to be able to share a little bit about the programs and stuff that you offer. I know you have the 20-minute newsletter. We're going to drop that link in here too.
Oh, awesome. So glad you asked. So glad I got dressed up today. Yeah. So mainly, like I said at the beginning, LizWilcox.com is all about just making email really simple for folks. When I realized that I could click a mouse and make money, when I could click a mouse and build those relationships for the client, that client-student relationship, I was like, oh my gosh, you guys get over here. Like, this is crazy. I could not believe it. So most of my products are all about just making it really simple. Jess mentioned my 20-minute newsletter framework. And so it follows that, follower, friend, customer, and how do we make them friends? So the 20-minute newsletter is all about, what to actually put into your newsletter to make sure, you're hitting those bases, you're turning these people into friends, you're getting people to reply. Because, I can say it's simple, oh, just get people to reply, but there is a little bit of an art to it. But basically, it just tells you how to connect, how to make that personal connection we were talking about, how to share in a relatable way over and over again without being boring or saying the same thing, and then how to segue into, whatever content it is you want to share, whether it's, a few different listings, it's one specific, it's another agent that you're collabing with, whatever it is. And so the 20-minute newsletter framework does that for you. Another thing that works really well for a lot of people is my email marketing membership. And Jess, if you don't have a link, I'll send you that as well. So this is a $9 a month membership.
Mind blowing. $9.
Yeah, and I'll say it's super cheap. It's very affordable, because when I started my business, I didn't have any money. I mean, my heart was invested. I was invested, but my bank account was like, girl, you're crazy. There ain't nothing here, it's cobwebs. And so that's one of the reasons I like to keep the membership only $9, is so no matter where you're at in your journey, you can actually, get in and get what you need. So if you're like, oh, how do I actually email these people? Either the 20-minute newsletters framework or the membership is going to show you how to do that continuously. So the membership every single week, based on that 20-minute framework that Jess just put in there, it gives you a newsletter that's already written. And it's $9 a month. I think we have over 1,500 members now. We've got realtors, photographers, the typical online bloggers. We have people that own hair salons in there, lots of different people. And I give you different examples over and over. But if you're just looking to start, like just put in the chat, I really recommend that 20-minute newsletter framework. It will just show you how to actually put a newsletter together. And then I would advise you through your real estate lens to say, okay, what is the content that I really need? That's going to be the hardest part of that. But I give you examples. Even I think that 20-minute newsletters is $22, and it's got video walkthroughs, everything. And of course, you can always email me to ask me any questions, and I can give you specific real estate examples as well.
And the membership is $9 a month. It's like practically like, there's nothing to even think about. Like all the value you get for that.
Yeah, it's a super fun membership, and it was something that came out of, like I said, I just, I can go on trainings like this. I know some of you are watching live, some of you are watching the replay, and I just found that, people got excited because I was excited, but then, like I said, you go to your keyboard and you're like, ugh, but I don't know what to say. And so with the 20-minute framework and the membership, it was like, well, I'm just going to write it for you. I'm going to break it down, show you a framework and how to do that every single week to show that you're invested, to show that, you're how to stay top of mind, how to share in a relatable way, and get people to open up, to hit reply, to feel like my fake Natalie said, how do we get people to feel comfortable with us and pick us as an agent? That membership and those that 20-minute newsletter framework really shows you exactly how to do that.
And the templates are like super easy to customize based on your like niche or your business.
Yeah. So the templates, what I do is because I saw a lot of other copywriters, they give you a template, but it doesn't really make sense for your business, especially real estate agents. People like photographers, service providers that have like in-person businesses. A lot of the stuff I was seeing just really wasn't relatable. It was businesses selling to businesses, selling to businesses, selling to businesses, right? It was kind of this spiral. And so with my templates and with this framework that I show you, I give you a well, first I give you the skeleton outline so you can see what exactly is in it. Then I give you the template built out, and think of it like Mad Libs. You know, you're in the 5th grade again. Like, give me a noun, give me a feeling, give me a thing you did yesterday.
Yeah.
And then I give you 2 swipes, which are A+ examples. Those are already written, and they're written from different business perspectives and different tones, personalities. So you can see like, oh, okay, this is how a photographer would use this. This is how a typical, coach would use this. This is how a real estate agent would use this. This is how someone who's like Liz and really loud and comfortable would use this. This is how someone more reserved would use this. And I give a video walkthrough. It's usually about 3 to 5 minutes to kind of show you the differences and teach you a little bit more about copywriting, how people read online, the psychology of all that stuff. So the longer you're in the membership, the longer you hang out with Liz, the more you really actually understand email and why it works and how it can work for you.
And I love how simple you make everything, because when you're running your own business, you kind of wear so many different hats in the business, and you're running in all different directions, that when something is basically like handed to you and you spend 20 minutes customizing it or, changing it around to send it all out, I mean, is a huge lifesaver.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I really mean it when I say I want everyone to use email. And again, I just found a lot of things just felt really complicated, talking about funnels, and there's nothing wrong with funnels, but I feel like we went really hard in one like very bro marketing direction for a while. And it just seemed too complicated for the average person who, probably has a family, just trying to figure out this real estate thing, trying to break out, make a face for themselves, make a name for themselves, like in their local market. I know you have other things to do, and I know email is the least sexy of them all.
Yes.
Nobody's like, oh yeah, I get to write emails today. I know I'm in the minority there. So for me, it was all about how can I make this so freaking simple? How can I get them to believe, yes, I can do this. I will give it a go. And that was when I came up with, the email staircase, the 20-minute newsletters, the membership that just writes it for you, things like that. Because I really mean it. I really want you to give this a try. I really do believe that it will help you, craft real relationships, get real clients, and make real sales with.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, real estate agents, they don't spend a lot of time in the office, mostly because, they're out showing homes, they're on listings, they're doing closings, home inspections. So they don't have a lot of time to do the back end stuff that, will produce, income later on and stuff. So when you take out the hard part of it all, it makes it so much easier for them, for sure.
Awesome. Yeah, I will say one last thing about that is, with the 20-minute newsletters and this email staircase and writing in that way that I do and how I show you behind the scenes, I developed all of this like from an RV. So I don't know if you've ever been in the woods, but the internet is terrible. And I didn't even have internet on my phone when I started my business, when I started emailing. I would have to go to libraries, and shout out to Lowe's parking lot. They have great internet at Lowe's parking lot, or they used to at least. I've since upgraded to my own modem. But I was traveling around. I think my daughter was 2 at the time. I didn't have a lot of time. I didn't have a lot of support, but I knew, like, I really just, the same way I'm asking you to, believe in email, I just believed somebody that, I heard somewhere like, oh, everything you do is to get people on your email list so you can build those relationships. I said, okay, that's what I'm going to do. And so I was able to develop this 20-minute newsletters because that's all the time I had. I had to hurry back. My daughter didn't care. I was trying to build a business. My husband had a full-time job. He was in the Army. The Army doesn't care what your wife is trying to do. And so I really had to come up with something very efficient, very straight to the point. So if you do check out my website or check out any of my products, you will see I'm very direct, to the point. I know I'm lamenting right now, but in general, I swear my stuff is really efficient. And that's how I want you to do things too. I think your people will really appreciate it. And again, you'll make more sales.
So we're going to post both of those links in the Facebook group because they're only going to YouTube right now. So I want everybody to be able to see them and check it all out. And I know that one of the links for the 20-minute newsletter, you can also sign up for the $9 membership with it too. Just a click of a button.
Yeah. Imagine that. Keeping it simple again. Yeah. I would love to have anyone in there that really wants to make this email marketing thing work. And again, like when you join, when you sign up, you can always email me any questions. I've designed my business where, I really only do the membership and things like that. I no longer take on client work. So I really mean it when I say you can email me, I will be in there.
And we'll make sure we share like all her website links and social media handles too in the groups that you guys can connect and follow along, because even if you can't, sign up today, next week, you can be connected and follow along the journey. And when the time is right, you can jump on, because I know that what Liz has to offer is something that we can all use.
Thank you. Yeah, I tend to agree with that. What she said.
Well, we are so thankful, Liz, that you were able to join us today, and we hope that you can come back another day.
Awesome. Yeah, I would love that. We could talk about how to get people on your email list.
Yes, we love lead generation, so that would be a perfect topic for next time.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Jess. I was going to say Jess and friends, and it came out Jeff. Wow. Okay, I'm calling that Facebook user Natalie. Jess is Jeff now. Yeah, buy my stuff. Yeah.
We'll all answer to whatever. It's fine.
Jess and friends, thank you so much. I can't wait to see what you guys do with email marketing.
Awesome. Thanks again, Liz, and everybody else. We will see you next Tuesday.